Nice to meet you.
Hello,
Hi.
Peter.
Um, Christopher, I want to kind of start with you. I mean, it's so interesting that kind of script to screen journey. You could do all the preparing in the world. You get the scripts for the Grey House, and then you get there and you see everything come to life. What is that like for you specifically on a project like this? Like when you actually get there?
The journey is half of it, but when you arrive, that pops. How's that for pop narrative there?
Pops, yeah,
But
absolutely. It pops,
I mean,
right?
I gotta
Absolutely.
say, it does. It blows your mind, and you just go, I cannot believe they built the city of Richmond off of the back of a beer, decrepit beer factory. The scope of this movie, this series, I should say, is huge, and the preparation they did to make it all happen, and then to burn it down, and then to go and do the other war things where it's like it starts kind of bright, everything's good, and then you get into the deep of the story, and it gets darker and darker and darker. So anyway, great people to work with, and great writing to deal with, and you feel blessed. So the journey is uh, the journey is twofold, and that is the one that really sticks with me.
Absolutely. Hannah, good to see you. And
Good to see
I
you.
did kind of want to ask you, right? Because, uh, it's interesting this whole mindset from a storytelling perspective, going back in time for a role. Is it kind of a lot of things you're thinking about, aesthetic, characters? Like what's going through your mind about that, even before, getting there on set, so to speak?
Yeah. I worked with a wonderful acting coach called Josh Barron, and we did a lot of digging in her history, her childhood. Um, I've done a few period pieces, so it feels like an instinctual, natural world for me to step into, and I love doing it.
Mhm.
Another thing that Roland blessed us with when we got there was he offered us these dreamscapes. So he would put on music and sort of flesh out this world for each one of our characters. And so he made that such an easy way. I mean, huge amount of work for him, but an easy way to give us this rich platform to sort of stand on when we got there. And I loved that. I've never done that with a director before, so that was a big gift.
No, absolutely. To kind of add to that, Christopher, you can answer this specifically with the Grey House. My filmmaker hat asks you this question right now because we might see some scenes and the runtime is like 2, 3 minutes and it goes on to the next scene, right? But I know that there's a chance that that scene we saw after all the editing and everything, that was a whole day of filming or a couple of days and everything. When those big scenes happen, right? Do they feel like their own mini movie or mini project? Or do they feel like part of the overall project of the Grey House? It's interesting to think about.
I think it's part of the old overall thing because things on sets get messy. I mean,
Yeah.
the horse didn't turn around right. Any number of things can happen, so you have to stretch out the day, and then you start looking at clocks, and you start thinking, maybe we can cut over to here. That stuff happens because it happens in every movie. But at the same time, when that really when you're there in a scene and it takes you 7 hours to do it, you're losing light. There's all these kind of things like, oh my God, we're gonna make this, and then it might may cost you when you go to the scene you had on your script day saying, oh, we're not going to get to scene 234 or 239, so we'll pick that up the next day, and that kind of thing. So it just is a machine that keeps working, and you don't want to walk away from something that's really important plot wise. So that's how that
Absolutely.
works.
Hannah, a show like this, the audience is on the edge of their seat, figuring things out and kind of looking at everything and looking where the story is going to go. I know from an acting perspective, when you're on set, you don't think about the audience, but like, when do you really start thinking about the audience? Is it like after you wrap? Is it like in the preparation? Because, when people, like, I'm wondering, do you ever think about the audience while you're making it at all? Like watching the show? Or like, I'm just wondering about that.
It's funny you asked that. Somebody had sort of brought up a question that isn't necessarily similar, but I think one of the reasons I went into or was attracted to acting was this idea of storytelling and how it affects the audience. I love that part of acting. When I'm acting, I'm not necessarily driving my choices from that, but it's definitely something that drew me to the world anyway. And so really it's, I think, how my choices as an actor relates to somebody else and what it affects in them, how it pulls something out in them. And so yeah, it gets confusing on how to answer the question, but I am so excited to see how this affects audiences when it comes
Yes.
to life, because it's one of the things that I love about what I do.
Yeah, no, that's great. You answer that perfectly. No, it's so interesting to think about because there's so many different ways now we watch things. Like there's so it's like
Yeah.
that's like I'm always thinking of that. And Christopher, you have an incredible body of work, and it's different worlds, different characters. And I'm curious, how separate are past projects for you compared to something like The Grey House? Like I know it's different worlds, different genres, but like, do you bring mindsets preparation from the Happy Gilmore world or like Lemonade Mouth to something future, or are they completely separate once you wrap them?
I'm going to go with separate
Yeah, yeah.
because this one is massive in scope and size. And the ones in the past have been, the comedies I've done, which have, thank God for Adam Sandler and the golf movies. But at the same time, it's also a little bit of it, but you put that to bed, as they say, and then you get ready to really dig in and be truthful in the moment, be as good as you possibly can be. Get to the point where I love when a director says, "Well, we got it. You want to take a couple of takes and do what you do," and that's when you add a little something to it to give it a little spin that is also in the character of the scene, but also a little bit of you're putting a little bit more of yourself into it, and that's about as deep as I would go with those things.
I don't know what was more exciting for me, Happy Gilmore 2 returning or Shooter McGavin being back in Happy Gilmore 2. That was like one of my favorite things. It must have been so cool to get back into that world.
It really, really was. I only waited 29 years for it, and I was always telling Adam, like, be really nice if we could get that thing. Oh, no, we'll get to it one day. But little things, the little perks you get after that, like this.
Oh.
They made a glass with my name on it, which is awesome. Anyway, yeah, the people do love that character. He's really beloved, and I am blessed. It's been a long journey, but this movie might help as well. The series that the man that can do more things than that, but talk about fun. Playing the first one especially, and then the second one turning the corner, and it was absolutely thrilled that we work with all those great golfers. Oh my God, those
so
legends.
many, that was the biggest thing. I saw it in advance, and I was like, there's like I lost count after 10 of the golf cameos in that movie. Like, it was.
There were like 25. It was crazy.
It was so crazy. Happy Gilmore, the original, is one of the most quotable movies of all time. But like I lose track of the quotes. But Hannah, I did want to kind of ask, getting back to the Grey House. I mean, learning experiences. Whether you've been on a set one time or hundreds times, there's always going to be learning experiences from a craft storytelling perspective. You'll bring the future projects. Anything specific, takeaway wise, Grey House, learning experience wise, you'll take to future projects?
Stay on your toes. I think it's great to be surprised. You come in with so much that you've planned and already thought through, and it's really nice to stay present and flexible and open to the other actors joining, the choices they're making, the sort of environment or the atmosphere of the day, the stress levels. It's constantly changing, constantly evolving, and I would love to just bring that into each role as I keep going.
Absolutely. Christopher, when you get there, because we mentioned at the beginning of this interview, and I've watched it, like the sets, the scale of this is so massive. Is there even time to even process everything, or do you go like fully into like actor mode? Like, do you even? Because I love conversations that happen, right, with the directors, the creators, and everything with the actors. But are there even time when you're there? I feel like a lot of that happen in prep for this, or are there a lot of kind of conversations going while you're filming The Grey House?
Well, that's a good question, but from my experience, I find that I love to see it. I love to get there early. I love to put myself in that time period because it helps me go, woo, here we go, like that. But then there could be a monkey wrench in the works, as it were, because the actor opposite you has not done that. He's not thinking that way. So you have to just learn to listen and react. Because a lot of that people just like, no, I got my agenda and but you listen, you react, and hopefully it'll stay in the same level of your director saying, wait, that's good, that's not, or take it down here. That kind of a thing that feeds me is beautiful wardrobes we're wearing and the crazy mutton chops on the side and all that kind of stuff. And then you come in and you really want to just nail it, but you never know what's going to happen because it's got to leave room for all those surprises.
Absolutely. And I can't wait for people to check out The Grey House on Prime Video. Christopher, Hannah, it was an honor and privilege to speak with both of you. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Peter. Good man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.